Have you ever observed those who claim to be born again? Did you notice any difference in the way they acted after they were converted than before they were converted? If they did not behave any differently, did you wonder if the conversion was really genuine? If they did conduct themselves in a more godly fashion, do you have any explanation for that? The Apostle Peter wrote to Gentile Christians who were dwelling in several Roman provinces in 1 Peter 1 verses 22 through 25, where he says, "Seeing ye have purified your souls in obeying the truth through the Spirit unto unfeigned love of the brethren, see that ye love one another with a pure heart fervently, being born again, not of corruptible seed, but of incorruptible, by the word of God, which liveth and abideth forever. For all flesh is as grass, and all the glory of man as the flower of grass. The grass withereth, and the flower thereof falleth away, but the word of the Lord endureth forever. And this is the word which by the gospel is preached unto you." Friends, Peter's admonitions to these Gentiles is very plain and pointed. "Wherefore, laying aside all malice and all guile and hypocrisies and envies and all evil speaking." 1 Peter 2 and verse 1. The word "wherefore" in this verse suggests that because we are born again, a new life is demanded. His language is similar to what one reads in some of Paul's epistles. "The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light." Romans 13 and verse 12. But some of the attitudes that Christians are not to practice anymore are mentioned in the verse we're examining here. The tense of the verb "laying aside" should be rendered "having already laid aside." That is, when one became a New Testament Christian, he was supposed to have put off the old man and put on the new man, Colossians 3 verses 8 through 10. We are no longer to be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of our minds, that we prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God, Romans 12 and verse 2. Christians are to lay aside or to put off malice. This word could be translated wickedness and refers to vice of any kind. Sometimes the Greek is rendered evil, wickedness, maliciousness, and naughtiness. In order to determine what malice or wickedness is, we must examine the Bible to see what God has said on this topic. Christians are also to put off guile. The Greek word that is translated guile was used of bait that was used to catch fish. The verb is sometimes translated deceive or entice or allure. The word describes the behavior of men and women who try to deceive others. Whatever our motivation, we have no right to deceive anyone, even if we believe that it is for their own good. Evil speakings in this verse that we're studying is in some versions rendered slander. The literal meaning of the word is to speak against, and how tragic that anyone, especially Christians, would speak evil of others and destroy their good name. Friends, we would do well to remember these words from the very mouth of Jesus Christ. "For by your words you shall be justified, and by your words you shall be condemned." Matthew 12 and verse 37. Peter also mentioned in our text hypocrisies and envyings. Surely we all know, both by reading and the Scriptures, from reading and also from hearing the proclaiming of the Scriptures, but also from experience, what hypocrisy is and how unfathomable it is. Jesus Christ was not consciously giving a definition of hypocrisy in this verse, but it would be difficult to find a better one. "This people draws near unto me with their mouth, and honors me with their lips, but their heart is far from me." Matthew 15 and verse 8. Envy is the hateful attitude or feelings of displeasure at someone else's good fortune. Peter expected that Christians had laid aside these unchristian attitudes and actions, and we as Christians today must ask ourselves, have we done this? Or do we continue to behave ourselves as those who are in the world? Do we continue to engage in these sinful behaviors and these sinful actions? Oftentimes we may seek to do this when no one else is looking, thinking that we are doing this under cover of darkness and that no one knows about it. But we must remember that God knows all. God sees all. And as the old song says, there's an all-seeing eye watching you. Friends, Friends, please take these things into consideration and have a blessed day.